All right. So, hi, Miss Alma. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to first thank you for taking some time to have a little conversation with me. You're going to see me just put this little banner up because our conversation today is going to highlight nutrition and healthy aging. But I really just want to kind of take this time to get to know you, more about your story. We won't be on here long, so would just be like maybe about 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. But it's just a few things that I wanted to be able to leverage about your experience and your wisdom that I think would be great to share with other audiences. So, that being said,
Mhm.
if you could, like, kind of tell me about what life was like growing up. So, where did you grow up? Siblings? What was it like? What was your most fondest memory, even of growing up?
Hmm. Oh well, my I grew up in Greenville, Mississippi. I was there until age 10, 10 and a half. I the youngest of four, and it was three of us that grew up together. So in the country, in the South, you had simple things. And I think the best part I remember is going fishing with my aunt. And she was more or less my babysitter for a moment there.
Okay.
And we would go to the river and fish. And earlier, when I was about 4 or 5, I had a babysitter, and she would have me to sit in the yard on the porch, and she had a beautiful flower garden. And I would sit there and see the butterflies and the bumblebees and the flowers bloom, and many fun things. But I thought that was the most comfortable place to be, is in her garden. So the
Ooh.
gardening, being cared for, and my brothers, they would go off to play and leave me because, like I said, I was the youngest, and no girls were allowed to go play with them. So
That is so funny. And I
yeah.
saw you kind of light up as you were talking about the fishing and the garden. It definitely reminded me of my mom doing the gardening work. I didn't get a chance to do much fishing, but the gardening I particularly remember. And just seeing you smile made me smile with that. So you were in Mississippi to age 10. Where did you move, relocate? What happened after that?
So, okay, in 1955, my mother decided to move us up to Chicago. Her oldest sister, had bought a building, a six flat, and that means 3 floors, two apartments on each floor.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that was her. She made a decision to just move up to Chicago. So
Oh,
my mother brought me to Chicago, left me there by myself. I woke up with the people I didn't even know. And she went back and got my brothers and brought them back after, during the summer.
wow.
So that's my trip to from Mississippi, small town,
To the big
and
city.
yes, the big city, all the noise, and it was different.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I got to spend time with my grandmother, who had I don't remember even seeing her
Mm-hmm.
as young. So I got a chance to meet my grandmother and stay with her
Awesome.
in the building, because we were all in the building. All her sister, my other aunt, my mother, my grandmother, my cousins, and my sister eventually joined us also. So
Awesome.
we were in this. All of us was in this family building. It's called the Big House.
The big house. I love that. But I mean, there's something that was so much of a blessing and so beneficial about everyone being together like that.
Yes,
Aside from like the resources, but just the love and always having people around. It's probably a cool thing.
right. And every Sunday, my aunt, she lived on the first floor. and it was Saturday was out in the farmers market buying food,
Hmm.
and then Sunday we all had dinner on the first
Ooh.
floor at the table every
Ooh.
Sunday. Pot
Ooh.
roast, honey chicken, and fish, and whoo, it
Oh
was
gosh,
delicious.
you making me hungry. You making me hungry. Now here we go. Fast forward some years later, you end up in Philadelphia. How? Like, how do you get to Philadelphia?
Well, I finished high school. I went to the community college. Didn't like that so well, so I dropped out. And I saw a little advertisement about Job Corps. So I asked my cousin, who was my mother's favorite niece, could I join Job Corps? And so she came back and she said yes. So in
Ah.
'97, I headed out to Job Corps. And yes, they sent me to Marquette, Michigan, where it was cold as cold can be.
Wait, you said
And I was there
1960. What when is it? 1940, 57?
67.
67. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
66 I graduated. 67 I took off to Job Corps.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
And and they put us at Northern Michigan University campus in Cary Hall. And I had a chance to take some college classes. And I took me a economic class. What economic? I took a drawing class because my brothers told me I better not go to the drawing class in high school because they just my brother told me I couldn't come to the class because he was taking drawing.
Oh, okay.
So I fixed him. I took me a drawing class, and I was there. Like I said, in the Job Corps, I became a leader. They tell me the kids were the girls. It was all girls, and they were doing all kind of things. And I said, I know what we could do. We could have a honor floor. And they said, yeah, yeah. And all the girls looked over at me and said, and you gonna be the president. So I was the president of the honor floor. And we made our little rules and regulations, and you can only be there if you paid attention and, followed all the directions and didn't break any rules, didn't stay out at night. So there I was, honor,
Running
on the
things.
honor. Yeah. So I did that for a while, and year and a half later, it's time for me. I finished my classes. It's time for me to move on. And they say, where do you want to live? And I had met a young man from Philadelphia. He was in the Air Force, and he was telling me about Philadelphia. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. So I told him, I want to go to Philadelphia. And they said, no problem. Filled out all my papers, gave my $1,500 exit fee. They give you a little stipend.
Oh,
So they
okay.
gave me $50, put me up in the women's Y that was on Chestnut Street. 20th and Chestnut, there was a Y, women's Y. And it was a room, like, had rooms and everything for young ladies. So I was there, and I started, reading the paper again. And I saw ad for what is it? Engineers aids and OIC, Reverend Sullivan's program. And they were
Yep.
looking for, and I applied, and they accepted me. And there was this young man kept looking at me, and I said, oh, he liked me. And my girlfriend laughed at me. But anyway, so we finished the training. And after the training, we were sent to St. Davis, and I worked at the highway department for 7 years. I got married, had 2 kids, and my husband, he worked there for about a year or 2 years, and he went into accounting and went to continue his education at Warden.
Ah, okay.
And so Warden. and they also gave me a scholarship. Well, I didn't know what the value. So
Uh-huh.
I took a couple of classes, and then I thought I think I'd rather be concentrating on being a wife instead of going to school.
Uh-huh.
So I at a University of Penn and continued,
Mm-hmm.
raising the kids and the babies,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's
Amongst many
and
other things.
yeah. But what I find is there's a lot of opportunities if you're in search of and you find them. They're there. They
Mm,
are there. They're with someone,
mm,
and
mm.
why not you take
I love
advantage
that.
of it?
I love that.
That's what I believe in. Because I come from Mississippi, Greenville, Mississippi, sitting on Miss Strong's porch pulling flowers, and here I am now.
Here you
So
are
that's
now. So speaking of
yeah.
now, where honestly one of my questions I was thinking about, like, speaking of now, like, so where's everybody now? Here we are, it's 2022. What about
Mhm.
siblings, and where is everybody still kind of spread out in different areas? Where's everybody now?
Yeah, my oldest sister, my sister, I only have one sister. My sister, she still lives in Chicago. My brother lives in right outside of Chicago, and the brother that's right that I took his place because I became the baby, and he became my older brother. He uh he did pass away.
I'm
Yeah, he had
sorry.
a F, so he passed away. And the cousins, all those cousins, they're still there. My grandmother passed away at 101.
Ooh.
My aunt at at 80, and like that. They passed away. My mother passed away at 62. And so when I got to 62, I said, "Oh, thank you, Lord."
Listen.
74 and a half now, and I think I'm glad I made some good choices,
Mm,
you
that's
know.
you are like really this you are like on point. So where we are now, 74 and a half years old, and when you were talking about choices, like, what do you think are some things that helped keep you well throughout the years and getting to this point now? What are some things you think that helped with that?
Well, when I was away from home, my mother was still living. I uh I always kind of did things as though she was on my shoulder, because
Yes.
I think to me that kept me balanced. I never had to tell her any sad stories or give me this, I don't have that, and that. No, my mother said, make good choices. You don't spend it all, you don't eat it all, you don't wear it all, you know,
Yes.
and watch who you around. You make choices. Because my mother told me as a child, if someone touches you or do anything to you, you're responsible for you. Be responsible for you.
Mm,
So I kind of kept in mind and the choices I made, the people I hung around.
mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think um, if I could tell anyone, keep in mind that you want the best in life,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to make choices. Sometimes you got to say no
Mm,
and mean it. And sometimes you got to tell that other person no and
mm-hmm.
mean it.
Yeah. That's
Because
like
that, yeah.
No, I was gonna say
Mm.
what you hit on is like what we talk about with boundaries, and no is a complete sentence. So
Yep.
mm,
Say no. And like I said, those are the choices. And then I kind of like I had in mind, I wanted a father and a mother in a house. I grew up not knowing my father. I never said daddy. And
mm,
I knew I wanted my children to say daddy.
mm-hmm.
And I had made the right choice when I did choose a person, you know.
I'd
But
say so.
yeah, they said daddy, and daddy, yes, they say daddy. They said oomfa. I'm like,
Yes.
anyway, it's African for that. But
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh,
yeah, but
wow.
it's important to make the choices, and not just for you, but for the child. It's good for the child to say daddy, and to
Mm-hmm.
have a home that says has a mother and a father in a stable environment,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because
Yeah.
that's what I want. But I know it's good for the child because I never said daddy. And
Mm-hmm.
I met my father walking to one of his brother's funerals, and I had Moose in my arms, and he said to me, "Oh, the last time I saw you, you was that child's age." And I said to him, "Oh, I heard you love children, because I had heard he had 9 children and me." So I just walked on past him.
Ooh,
So I still didn't say. So
this.
anyway, and I never saw him after
Mm,
that. That was it. It was like in the it wasn't. It was dark almost, but and I just
wow.
think that's so fair.
Yeah.
Say, say daddy, and to be there for your children, and because I think it deserve it. And if you can make a choice, that's the best you can do. It may not always work out,
Mm-hmm.
but you make that choice. And that's I tried, and it worked out okay. You know.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Speaking of choices, so one of the things you talked about, and you were smiling about this too, was like the Sunday dinners and the meals and things like that. So that was your favorite food then. What are some of like your favorite foods or favorite meals now? Like,
Oh, I think I better say. What is it? What is it? Fried turkey in the what is that? The turkey,
oh, the turkey, the
the
fried
roast
turkey.
turkey, yeah, the fried turkey.
Yes.
It's a fried turkey,
Uh-huh.
and let me see what else. The mac and cheese, and I'm trying to be good. Oh boy,
The
but
things
I
we had at
enjoy it.
Thanksgiving. No, but like
Yeah,
I know you
that is
have like some of your favorites too. So like if you
yeah,
so we sit down and not me, but somebody who really knows how to cook. But like you sit down and you're like, you know what? You
yeah.
have a chef. We'll say that. Send you a personal chef. What do you want this personal chef to make you?
Well, I like candy yams,
Okay.
corn on the cob, Brussels sprouts, broccoli. I like mixed vegetables. Peanut soup, African style,
Mm-hmm.
curry chicken, and oxtails,
I'm about to say, is there a meat
collard.
in here?
Yeah, oxtail cut, and then of course tilapia.
Oh, okay. Okay, you had a nice list there, and you had bulk like vegetables on there. Like that's why I was like, okay, most of your things is
Yeah,
vegetables. So at this
with
stage,
corn.
well, yeah, and cornbread, you got to have that to sop up the juice with. So at this stage, you've raised your kids, you got grandkids now, you retire, but you still consult in that space of like children's health, children's care and youth care, and you do so much like in
Yeah.
your community. So it's like you get a chance to stay very active. But like, what do you do to relax? Like, what do you know that buzzword self care? Like, what do you do that's just for you to kind of relax?
I well, I do like gathering books. I like reading books, spiritual. So Sunday is church services 4 and 5 every Sunday, starting at 8 o'clock, and and uh, so churches reading. Going to church reading. Uh, I do some crafts. I like to do some crafts. I like making wreaths,
Yes,
things
you are
like
very
that.
crafty.
Yeah, and I like craft. Lots of projects I'm working on, and I go to an art class every Thursday. I'm learning to practice my crafts, and like I said, what? So I've had 3 careers. First was the highway drawing. The second was computer operator. Because after my husband finished his degree at Warden, his job, first job, sent him back to Chicago.
Oh,
So we stayed 3 years. And while I was there, I was reading the paper, and guess what I found?
what?
Chicago Urban League was training computer operators.
Okay.
So I said, I'll do that. So for 3 months, IBM technician taught us how to.
Oh, there you go. Okay, unmute. Hold on, hit unmute. Oh no, mute button. There
I
you go.
so I looked in the paper while we were in Chicago for 3 years. I went to some trainings, and okay, for training, and I got a job as a computer operator. Moved up the ranks to lead operator within that 3 years, and my husband decided I want to go back to Philadelphia. I'm like, yes, because it was cold, very cold in Chicago. So anyway, so I came back and I worked for another 9 years as a computer operator
Mm.
here in Philadelphia.
Wow. Then you moved
Yep.
into one of the most important
So you
roles.
can hear me now?
Hmm.
Okay, great. So that's one. And then soon after about 91, I decided I wanted to do childcare. So my job laid me off, and I'm like, oh yes. So I told my husband I want to start a daycare. He said not in my house. So I renovated my basement and started my daycare there. But in April, I started community college, and I got my associate in early childhood. And then the next degree, until I got my master's degree. And
Yeah.
so opportunities, opportunities are there.
Hmm.
You have to have the thirst for it, and the courage to press on and believe in yourself, because you can do all things. And of course, I believe children need care and attention, and we have to learn to do it because we're not all born with the knowledge.
Hmm.
We invest in learning more on how to, help children and how to encourage them.
Hmm.
And so
That's awesome.
that's all
I
my stories.
well, you know,
And so what I do, I go to the programs, and I still help out and help whenever I can in the programs. I get calls all the time. I'm on various little uh, email email programs where they send me information. I share it with my colleagues in the field.
awesome. I love
Yes.
that. That is so well. I
Yeah.
mean, like, can you hear me? Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Can you hear me now? Hold on. Can you hear me now? I feel like that Verizon commercial. Or no, you can't hear me. Okay, that's
Okay.
okay. That's okay. So what I was saying was I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you coming on, talking with me and sharing your story with me. March is Women's History Month. And so I always like to lift up different stories. But because of what you've accomplished, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you've done. So, were you able to hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, hold on. Let me see. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me better now? Oh man. Okay, it looks like it's something with the audio, but that's okay. I got the bulk of it. I'm going to give you a call on your phone. I'll call you on your phone.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.